Hey everybody, coming to you from an undisclosed location possibly known as the outside of my house, and after my bike ride in the morning. It is Tuesday, October 7th, 2025, and I'm back. I was gone for a few days. I have been incredibly busy. The stuff that I've done to sort of reorient my classes in the wake of generative AI has taken some time to kind of figure out properly in terms of the workload for me, and also I've had a lot of other writing stuff going on, family stuff, so there's been a bunch of things, but I'm back. And I want to talk to you today about the third and final storytelling principle that I was hoping we could discuss. The first two were dynamic storytelling and authentic storytelling, but the last thing I want to talk to you about is thematic storytelling. Because a lot of times, this is in some ways I think maybe the most important principle of all. A lot of people misunderstand this too. When they hear theme, people sometimes have a tendency to think of like, oh, it's like the moral of the story, right? It's like the thing from Aesop's fables, like the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, or, some public service announcement type of one-liner. But that's not actually what a theme is. It's much more complex than that. Ultimately, a theme really is the kind of central organizing principle of your story. It is, if you will, what the story is ultimately about. For example, in my book Gray Shade, which is the first novel of the Gray Assassin trilogy that I published, came out a few years ago. The Gray Shade came out a few years ago. Gray Shade, in a lot of ways, one of the major organizing principles, the theme of the story is about faith, about what happens when you lose faith. What does it mean to have it in the first place? What happens when you lose it? Is it a binary where you either have faith or you don't? Or is it something where there's a middle ground? If you lose faith, you can gain faith in something else. And I mean here, of course, faith in the broadest possible term, belief in something, not something specific, not some specific method of religion or something like that. What happens when someone is consumed by faith? What happens when you move to something else? That is really a theme. It's the theme in some ways of that series. There are others. The idea that another theme is about isolation versus social contact, that being all on your own, no one person is an island, and you need a whole group of people sometimes to get something done. But those are several of the principles or themes of the story. And the reason they matter is they provide a sort of connective tissue for the rest of the book. Everything that you're doing in terms of plot, in terms of character development, in terms of even the way that you build your world, in some ways having it oriented around the question of what's the real question that you're trying to answer in this book? What are the things that you're trying to present as questions for your readers? That becomes the theme, and that allows people to feel like there's a sense of coherency as they're reading it. A theme then is an organizing principle, a question, the central question for your readers to answer. And if you can do that, I think you'll have better storytelling. I'll be back with more stuff later, but have a good week.